Are we screwed? Are college sports saved? Did a sports podcaster have to start all of a sudden to start talking about politics? Yes, yes, I did, because President Donald Trump, got involved in college athletics. Look, I'm here with you to break down the new executive order by President Donald Trump. I'm not going to give my views on politics or anything like that, this is intended to save college sports, so I'm not going to get into the politics side of it very much. But this order aims to address the chaotic landscape of college sports with a particular focus on name, image, and likeness. You know that as NIL deals, which have turned the industry into one of the most complex and challenging environments in sports today. We're going to break down what this executive order does, what it means for NIL, and how it impacts teams like Ohio State, USC, and a few other Big Ten programs as well. The current state of college athletics is frankly a mess. It is what it is. It's a mess. There's a lot of angst with fans, and there are so many moving parts. It's hard to know what is actually going on since the NCAA's 2021 decision to allow athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness, NIL. The landscape has been a wild west for boosters, collectives, and skyrocketing payments. I will say it's far better than when we had all this stuff going on underground, right? All this stuff being out in the open, everybody's doing it, makes it more fair. If you can get your money up, you can pay some more players. But it doesn't make things quite. It still does make things quite frustrating. You know, some schools like Texas A&M are reportedly spending upwards of $50 million this year on athlete compensation through revenue sharing and the House versus NCAA settlement and third-party NIL deals. Meanwhile, you got programs like Rutgers who are struggling to keep up and get enough money to, I should say get enough money to pay their players, get enough money to be competitive with some of the big dogs out there. It's creating an uneven playing field, and this isn't new. Like I said, it's more out in the open now, but even with things out in the open, we don't have the transparency on what actually is and what actually isn't the rules. This chaos stems with a series of court rulings dismantling NCAA restrictions on athletes' compensation, pay-for-play recruiting, transfers, all that good stuff. President Donald Trump stated in his executive order, these rulings, quote, created an out-of-control, rudderless system, end quote, that threatens the viability of college sports. For example, at Ohio State, star freshman receiver, sophomore now, Jeremiah Smith landed a major NIL deal with Adidas, a legitimate endorsement that will certainly go through the NIL Go clearinghouse. But elsewhere, collectives or just basically groups of boosters, it's just a fancy name, right? They're pooling money together. They've been accused of offering pay-for-play deals where athletes are paid simply for joining a team, not the genuine marketing. This practice has fueled bidding wars with schools like Texas, USC, Texas A&M, name your school, Miami, right? They're reportedly offering massive sums to secure top-tier talent. Enter President Trump's executive order, a 5-page directive that aims to bring structure to all of this madness. Signed in Washington, D.C., just hours after NCAA President Charlie Baker spoke at the National Press Club, the order directs cabinet members like the Attorney General and Secretary of Education to craft policies around key issues. Let's break down the most critical parts and what it means for NIL. First, the order emphasizes protecting scholarships for non-revenue sports, right? Schools with budgets over $125 million must maintain or increase scholarship opportunities for sports like women's volleyball, wrestling, swimming, smaller programs what was the one program? This men's gymnastics. That's right. This is a direct response to fears that schools could cut sports like those. The men's gymnastics. I mean, there's only 12 programs that exist nationwide for men's gymnastics, and 4 of them are in the Big Ten. It's kind of wild. This could direct funds to football. Like getting rid of those could direct funds to football and basketball. Schools want to have commitment to these sports. You hear a lot of ADs talk about that. But if other schools drop them, programs, in order to keep up, right? programs that keep them are at risk of falling behind. This provision ensures that athletes in less lucrative sports still have opportunities, preserving the broad based model of college athletics. The most significant part of the order for NIL is its prohibition of the pay for play through third party collective. The executive order reinforces the House settlement's terms, which require NIL deals to be for legitimate endorsements or commercial opportunities, not just donations to a group of boosters who love their program and are going to go, throw money around to players that they like and they want to see on their team. This means a deal like Jeremiah Smith's with Adidas, where he's paid for marketing the brand of Adidas, right? It's above board. That's what it is. That they have goods, they want to sell their goods, and they want somebody to endorse them. That's what it is. But a booster collective handing out cash to lure a quarterback to a school without a valid business purpose, the collectives have been approved, but you could see some collectives, if it doesn't seem to have a valid business purpose, still get denied. It's a little interesting there, but it's not explicitly targeting for restrictions. The order tasks the Federal Trade Commission and other agencies with creating enforcement plans within 30 days, potentially withholding federal funding or launching Title IX investigations for violators. This focus on legitimate NIL deals is what matters most here. It aims to level the playing field to ensure schools like Rutgers aren't outbid by wealthier programs at every single turn who have deeper pockets with more boosters, right? However, the lack of finalized rules create uncertainty here. The rules haven't been agreed to by the plaintiff attorneys, even with the House settlement passed, right? That's one of the things we're seeing now. The collectives, they weren't allowed before. Now they're allowed now, kind of. I mean, you still have to have a valid business purpose with what you're doing, but collectives can pay players. Although we will see ongoing negotiations and changes, the House settlement isn't going to completely fold right away. But until then, schools will exploit loopholes and skirt regulations. Greg Sankey said it best when he talked about how everyone wanted guardrails, right? But now they don't want to abide by them. It's the same thing with the tampering, right? Dan Lanning was asked about tampering, and everybody got real mad when he said that there needs to be consequences of tampering. But I get it, right? Dan Lanning tampers, Ryan Day tampers, Greg Schiano tampers. Everybody tampers. Everyone tampers right now, but everyone wants it to go away. But the first program who stops, guess what? They're set up to fail because they're not tampering, but everybody else is. It's like what's going on with Ohio State right now, who is trying to be the leader in this area. At least they're saying they're trying to be the leader in this area, and they're trying to adapt to outsourcing NIL through its Buckeye Sports Group, but also keeping it in-house, engaging businesses and marketing budgets to create legitimate deals that they will ensure will go through the NIL Go clearinghouse, like those of athletes promoting local Columbus businesses, restaurants, whatever it might be. Not everybody's getting a Jeremiah Smith contract to Adidas, but it's severely hindering their NIL efforts in recruiting. The order also addresses athlete employment status, directing the Secretary of Labor and the National Labor Relations Board to clarify that college athletes are students, not employees. This is a nod to the ongoing legal battles with those at Dartmouth and USC, where courts are debating whether athletes should have employee rights or not. Trump's stance aligns with many college leaders who fear collective bargaining could disrupt the amateur model, right? That's what everybody says. Oh, we just get collective bargaining. We just need antitrust. But it could disrupt the amateur model that they want to try and have. Though some, ironically, see it as the potential solution as well. Another key provision is limited liability protection for the NCAA and conferences, shielding them from lawsuits over rules like the roster limits or transfer restrictions. Trump's order criticizes court rulings that struck down these regulations, arguing they have unleashed chaos. By directing the Attorney General and FTC to creating policies within 60 days, the order aims to restore the NCAA's ability to enforce consistent rules with the College Sports Commission, which could stabilize NIL practices across schools like Alabama, Ohio State, Boise State. I mean, everywhere. It's not just the Big Ten, it's everywhere. So what's the immediate impact? Not a whole lot. Talked about all that just to let you know, nothing's really going to happen right now. You see, executive orders, they're not law. They are directives for policy creation, and those policies will face legal scrutiny. NCAA President Charlie Baker emphasized this, stating, "You can fix this stuff from you can't fix this stuff from executive order. Our focus needs to be through legitimate legislative processes." Indeed, the SCORE Act, a bipartisan bill advancing in Congress, mirrors many of Trump's goals like protecting scholarships and regulating NIL, but with a divided Senate, legislative progress is uncertain, leaving the executive order as a bold but limited step. This is just my take, and I don't think it's all that much of a hot take, but President Trump getting involved may have made the SCORE Act getting passed even less likely, in my opinion. The act, the act needs 7 Democrats to side with it. And if you know anything about politics today, most Democrats do not find Donald Trump to be their best friend. I guess that's the best way to put it, right? They're not too fond of Donald Trump. I know, shocking, right? Hard-hitting political analysis here. That's what you come to the Big Ten Huddle for. Anyway, for fans, coaches, and athletes, the order signals a push for clarity and fairness because right now, athletic programs are going to be working daily to see if they need to pivot, and that's nowhere near a sustainable model. You can't have every single program out there saying, what do we need to do different today? They need to ensure that NIL deals are structured correctly, engaging businesses for marketing campaigns rather than relying on pay-for-play deals. And if they can't do that, then they're not going to be able to compete in today's day and age. To conclude it all, to put it all together, President Trump's executive order is nothing official. It's a call to action to save college sports from the brink of collapse, which in some cases, it is on the brink of collapse. I mean, we're being honest here. It tackles the chaotic NIL landscape by enforcing legitimate deals, protecting non-revenue sports, which is huge. I love that, and shielding the NCAA from legal challenges. While its immediate impact is limited, it sets the stage for a more structured future where schools can compete fairly. They need a durable system. For now, the ball is in the court of Trump's cabinet and ultimately Congress. This game is far from over, and I imagine we'll begin to hear some more about the SCORE Act, maybe some of this stuff in September, or maybe as we lead up to September.